I don't even know what they accomplished.
Should be.
Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, February 6, 2018. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I just want to say, this week is Thank a Farmer Week, so we want to thank all our farmers in Cole County.
Yeah.
Huh?
I got one here.
Yeah. Well, I saw that and I said, that's great.
Judge? Me? Yeah, you want to step out?
Well, no. We're having a pretrial release program in Minneapolis, May 2nd to the 4th. It's run by the Department of Probation. I'll get that.
Check my schedule.
Okay. See,
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry.
Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
I have January 2018 Treasurer's Reconciliation Report filed and the Auditor's 2018 January Report filed, and then the Clerk, Sheriff, and Recorder fees filed for January 2018.
Okay. Commissioner, liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
We got the county commissioners required training tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Got Chiefs meeting Thursday?
Yes.
So you got the Renegades coffee Friday mornings and radio, so we're gonna be able to do that?
No, I did the radio last Friday.
Oh, okay, switch it to,
Yeah, because we have to be over there in
okay.
Columbia to get our diploma.
Have an email. Okay, is the groundbreaking Saturday?
Saturday at 11 a.m.
Did you get an invitation for it, or?
I did.
I got something, an email or, yeah.
It was a card, I think.
Oh, okay. My whole desk got soaking wet while I was gone, so I don't know.
Sam, it's just God's way of punishing you. You must have did something wrong.
Was that
So
at
11
10?
o'clock?
Was that at 10?
I got it at 11.
I don't know, that's what I was trying to find, where was that? I just had it tentatively on my schedule.
Where is it? Is that job trailer over there?
I've got 2653 Creek Trail
Okay,
Drive, I
that's
don't
probably
know
their
what that,
job trailer.
so it is 11?
Yeah.
You're sure? So,
Well, fashionably late is good, you know.
I'm not the mayor.
I didn't say anything.
No, that's her mojo. All right, I got that. Wardsville, St. Stanislaus got a Knights of Columbus ham sausage breakfast Sunday. And then what's tomorrow? Something's tomorrow. The ham breakfast.
Ham and bean, Lion,
bean.
62nd annual.
Have to get some before you go to commissioner training. Bring it, get a whole bucket. Go to Central Dairy and get a whole ice cream.
That's how we deliver it. We are delivering to the commission and to the clerks and to the collectors.
All right, I think that's all I got of any substance anyway. I don't know. I got that CCAM stuff, but there's plenty of other stuff going on too besides that. I don't know. I'm busier than ugly stripper right now, so.
Not sure how the correlation of that is.
I'm just busy.
Okay.
Where you go sit in class.
Sign in, you gotta sign in by 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got a meeting with CMPS on the sidewalks for the courthouse today at 1. I gotta Salute to America meeting tomorrow at 11:30. And I think there's a safety meeting on Thursday, is that right, Debbie?
Yes. The Law Enforcement Center.
Okay. That's all I got.
Okay. I got the ham and bean. Friday's United Way luncheon, but I've regretted to that. Friday afternoon and Saturday is Cap Region's board retreat. Saturday night's the Heart Ball. And Saturday is also Carolyn McDowell's birthday. So that's all I've got. Presentation from invited guests, the Cole County First Responders annual budget presentation. Gentlemen.
Most of you know who I am, but my new assistant chief, Barry Guy, probably know him.
I've known him for a long time.
There's
Known him for a long time.
Thank you.
Any questions, Barry can probably answer.
The hot seat, huh? Yeah.
I think this is pretty much the same as yours.
Yeah,
past,
so
isn't it?
they're
Yeah.
very similar. I mean, our recurring expenses are insurance and, you know, we're trying to keep our medical equipment up to date as well, starting to replace some of our antiquated AEDs and things of that nature, so.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much, pretty standardized.
Mhm. You guys got any questions?
No,
Oh,
thank you.
Easy?
Thank you. Yes.
I want to do what you just did, bottle it up, and I'll buy it.
Hey, you know what the key to that was? It's been 25,000 for as long as I've been here. That's it. No more, no less.
There's only 3 zeros there.
Contract if you guys are 20 days in advance today.
Is that the same thing I got here?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. They're on the ball.
That's budget,
Okay. I move that we sign the agreement with the Cole County Volunteer Medical First Responder Squad for 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any
Thank you,
commission-
guys. Welcome to
Thank
go.
you very much for your support.
You bet.
Or you can stay. We have fun. Jeff has great analogies.
Big words earlier today, well, look out.
Yeah. Was it stripper or what?
Busier and an uglier stripper. You never heard that one?
No. I've lived a sheltered life.
You'll get it later on.
I get it. Oh, gosh. Okay, unfinished business? No?
We already digressed.
New business, accounts payable review?
No, we don't have any accounts payable.
Whoa.
Not that there's no bills.
Okay. Recorder of Deeds Office to present 2017 annual report.
The 2017 end-of-year numbers, so thought I would take the opportunity to summarize the previous year and just share some interesting numbers and information with you. So I'll read from my one-page summary. Last year we had 11,735 documents that were recorded. And that compares in 2015, we had 11,500, and in 2016, 12,300. So it's right there in the middle of what we've been doing the last few years. Also on that one-page summary, you'll see that the fees collected last year, 486,000, that is broken down into the different funds that the fees get separated into. And you can see for yourself what those numbers look like. And what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different funds. So we collect one fee, but it gets divided into several different funds. Last year, the average documents per month was 978, and the average documents per day is 47 documents. In in February, we had the fewest documents at 758, and in September we had the most documents, 1,140. So it ranges anywhere from 750 to 1,140 month to month. Also, coming on stronger and stronger every year is the e-recording. Last year we did 1,517 documents were received over the internet through e-recording, and that was 13% of the total for the year. And we are averaging 126 e-recorded documents a month right now. And we support 3 different e-recording services. SimpleFile and CSC are 2 national, primarily national, and SimpleFile is probably one of the most common throughout the country. Mobilus is pretty much a Missouri service and popular throughout the state. Marriage licenses, we had 601 marriage licenses last year. The most popular months are April, June, September, and October. And the least popular months, no surprise, January and February, and then at the end of the year, November, December. Or you could also look at it, November, December, January, February of the year are just slow months for marriage licenses. And then, as you know, last year we redid the office and we brought in new software for the marriage licenses. The previous computer software had gotten so old that it was not serving a purpose anymore. So we're new software there, and it's serving us very well. Also, last year we introduced online search for the public and private sector, and it can so our online search can be accessed locally and statewide and throughout the country. And that's proving more and more popular, and it's getting more and more use. And what it avoids, someone that's in California or Texas can simply go online and get the information they need. Also, someone across town can go online and get the information they need and not have to take the time to drive to the office and not have to take the time to come here and look it up at our public stations. Although our public stations are still available to whoever wants to come in and use them. Also, last year we started accepting credit cards. We took advantage of the county. We had postponed. We'd been interested in credit cards for quite a while, but with the county bidding banking services again, we held off on our credit cards until the county bid the banking services, and so we're taking advantage of the bid the county received through the new bank bid from last summer. So we have credit cards now, and we lost a 10-year veteran deputy recorder last year, and and therefore we also have a new deputy recorder who's been with us since April, and she's coming along real well. I tell you, it does take a long time to learn everything we need to know in the recorder's office. And then also I put in there some things that I hope to do this next year: webpage, brochures, and we're going to introduce a new online search option. For $6.95, you can get online and conduct one search. So if someone knows what their booking page is, they can go online, enter the booking page, get their document for $6.95. And that should be coming online in this spring.
So they can print it too?
They can print it, and the print will be $1 a page, just like it is if we do it here at the office. So if it's a 3-page document and they print it off, it's $3.
You gotta pay the $6.95 to find it,
Right.
and then $1 to print it off themselves.
Yes. Yeah, they can print it off at their remote location. And then that's between the two options. The one option we already offer, $25 for 24-hour access. And then the single search option, it'll be interesting to see more and more people using that option and avoid the time that it takes to call or wait on the mail. If right now someone calls us from someplace, and since we take credit cards, we can now take a credit card payment over the phone and put a document in the mail to them. But with these online searches, people can simply go online and find their document and print it off, and they're good to go. Also, on the e-recording, one good thing about e-recording, one big good thing on the e-recording is the difference between receiving the document online and receiving it if it's dropped off or if we get it through the mail. If we get something through the mail or someone drops a document off, and while we're checking it to record it, if we find something missing, a signature missing, or we don't have a property description, something like that, we simply reject it and send it back to them to be corrected. And so it goes through the mail to get back to them. And then they get it and they correct it in a day, and then they put it back in the mail, comes back to us. That could take 3 or 4 or 5 days maybe. With the recording, we can review it, and if we reject it, send it back to them through the internet, through the e-recording. They can see that, they can fix it, and send it back to us, and it might take 10 minutes. So, 3 or 4 days versus 30 minutes. So the e-recording is getting more and more popular, and we're doing more and more. People are opting to send their documents in with the e-recording that's available. Also, let me point out that on the online searches, the like $6.95 or the $25 for 24-hour access, those funds are being collected, and those funds will be used to support the software and hardware that we purchased to be able to offer the online. For example, the software to go online, we worked with our software company, and that software, so they wrote the software for us for that. And my recollection is that that software cost around $10,000. So it's there's a price for everything. So the revenue that's collected will go right back into the system to support it and expand it and make it better and more efficient. Is there anything any questions you would have?
Since you started going to credit card, what percentage of your fees are credit card? What percentage are cash or check?
Sam, that's a good question. We started I do not have that answer, but I can get an answer to let you know what it is thus far. But we actually only started doing the credit cards probably November, maybe October. So people are still getting used to that option. It comes in handy. It's a handy option, when they come in the office, for example, for a marriage license, and it might be just then that they find out that it's $51. And we used to, previously it was always just cash and checks. So with the credit card, that gives folks, another option. Also, on the credit cards, it was interesting to me. I started January 1st of 2015, and I was surprised that the office did not have credit cards. So in the month of March, 3 months in, I got in touch with all of the Class 1 counties to find out what they were doing with the credit cards. And it was about 49% of the Class 1 counties were taking credit cards, and 51% were not taking credit cards. So at that point, we were right in the middle of the pack. Also, it was on March 31st that I talked to Boone County, and it was noteworthy to me that Boone County, with all the resources they have in their recorder's office, Boone County was not taking credit cards yet. But they had been investigating it, and they were beginning their credit cards. They were going to begin taking credit cards the following day on April the 1st. So once I found out that we were not too far behind the pack, and we weren't leading the pack, but since that time, I've been getting closer and closer and investigating the credit cards, and then with the county bidding the banking contract, it just made sense to wait and provide credit card service along with the new bank contract. So we finally got that going.
I think at our store, it's about 85% are credit or debit. That's the majority of our sales now are credit or debit.
I know.
And I know we get the brides and grooms in after they've been to see you. They don't carry cash.
Right.
They really don't. So they have to go down to one of the banks, to the ATM to get it. And we've had some unhappy, it's because they don't have $1. They don't even carry $1.
Right, and also when they come in your store and they offer the credit card, there are fees there, to process that credit card. And myself, when I go to a retailer and I use my credit card, I think nothing of that fee. It's just, what it costs. In the recorder's office, we also charge a fee, and we have a note right there on the counter. The processing fee does not stay with the recorder's office. It doesn't go to the county revenue. That fee goes back to the bank. So whether the document is delivered to us through the mail or dropped off or done by the internet on e-recording, the fees are the same across the board. That you pay the same fee for the document. Whatever is being recorded will cost the same regardless. The services that people can use to send an e-recorded document to us, those services, I think they charge like anywhere from $3 to maybe $5 for that privilege. And again, that we don't get, the recorder's office does not see that. All the recorder gets, regardless of the option, is the same recording fee, regardless of how it's recorded. I look forward to seeing that. I think the credit card use will increase, and I also think e-recording will continue to increase. In fact, we already have. Let's see, what did I say here? E-recorded documents. We on the monthly average last year was 126 documents e-recorded, but in January that just concluded, January of this year, which is a slow month, if there is such a thing, a slow month in the recorder's office. So last year, the average monthly was 126 documents, but last month in January, we did 153 documents e-recording. So that number is going to continue to increase. If you ever have any questions or comments, I'm always anxious to work with you and get you the information and answers you want.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna go back to the $6.95, so if I look something up, why do I have to pay to print it myself?
We are simply, what we're doing is passing on the same print charge that we have in the office. So I guess it just makes sense to us that for the information, it's the information that we're allowing to be copied. It's not the cost of the paper or anything. It's the information that we are making available. So we charge $1 for the information in the office if they want to have a copy of it. And if they want to have a copy of it at their remote location, we're charging that same $1.
So if I come into the office and ask y'all to look up this title and say it's 7 pages, I see equal to $6.95. It's gonna cost me $7 to print it off, but if I look it up, it's $6.95 plus $7. Or do you charge anything to look it up?
Well, one, we do not look it up. We'll teach you how to look it up. We are not allowed to look up and do research. Banks and title companies do that, provide that service. And we can actually, as a recorder, I can actually be penalized for doing that. But what we do, if it's something simple, it's easier to help someone, or just to get.
I mean, it's no different than going to the library. They're gonna help you look something up on microfiche or something. But it's up to you to look it up. So I just don't understand why we have to be charged to print it out. If we're printing it out ourselves, we're actually saving the recorder's office time of having to mess with it. So
And again, it's the information. The information.
I'm paying $6.95 to see the information. So I can just screenshot with my phone and then print it out. Be all right.
It could, yes. That may satisfy your need. That may be, it may be all you need is that image on your phone. And
So if I moved to St. Louis or move out of state, and when I move in, I lost my marriage license, and I need a copy of it. Well, I don't want to drive back to Jeff City to get it. So I'll go online, it costs me $6.95, plus I gotta pay $1 to make a copy of my license.
We cannot do marriage licenses over online like that. And
So that's a bad example, but
but it does bring up a good point, though. A copy of a marriage license, and it's very common for someone to come in and get a copy of their marriage license. But we only let those go out as a certified copy. So a copy of a marriage license will be $9 because it's certified.
yeah, that's a bad example. I don't know if there's some title work or something you needed. If you sold your house and then you moved and you needed just one page or one copy of something, and I mean, it's saving you all time of not having to mess with it. So I would think I'd be able to print it out once I looked it up. So.
Oh, here's another point. Here's another interesting point that's relative to this conversation about copies. The $1, the dollar per copy that we charge in the office, and the $1 per copy that we charge online. All the revenue we collect for copies, that $1 per copy, everything, that goes to county revenue. So that does not stay with the recorder's office. That's collected, and that converts to general.
I don't have a problem charging a fee for providing a service when we're making a copy of it, but if I'm sitting at my office or home or whatever, making a copy, being charged the same thing, it just doesn't really make sense to me.
Well, that's a good point you bring up. Maybe we will want to reconsider that sometime.
I think you might get more people to pay the $6.95 if they can print their own stuff off, and may take some of the workload off of your staff because they're not coming in and having to be helped on the machine, because you can't look it up, and I'm sure you have to show them how to operate it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and thank goodness it's a fairly easy to use system. But yes, we are happy to help people look things up when they come in.
Okay.
Those are good points, Jeff.
Well, I'm glad you got it online. I mean, it was a very antiquated system for the longest time, and the realtors, I'm sure they appreciate it a lot too, because you can look a lot of stuff up.
What I would like to do is go to the Jefferson City Area Board of Realtors and work with them more closely. We're in the recorder's office. We're in a good position now to provide more access and more convenience for like the realtors
Title companies.
And the title companies. Well, the title companies, because they access the information regularly, the title companies, because of their heavy daily use, they charge, they're paying $250 a month for, that volume of access that they require. So we try to, we're breaking it down to try to have, a good price for whatever the purpose is. And since of course, we can continue to look at some of these points that you're bringing up. For example, I was at a year ago. A year ago, I was making a little presentation to the East Side Business Association, and a local realtor asked a question. What if he doesn't? What if he only wants like a warranty deed and it's only one page, and he has to pay $25 to get that? And because of that comment and that point, which I thought it was very well made, like the next day I got on the phone with our software company and said, we want to do a single search for $6.95. That figure was arbitrary. There's nothing magic about it. But someone wants to get in and out, and then it avoids that $25. And
You can do it in your bathrobe, send it home on your computer, and
yeah,
in the morning or midnight if you want to. So,
that's right.
Yeah, I appreciate that part of it very much.
And we're always very receptive to comments and suggestions and ideas, and try and work and improve the system and improve the access continuously.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Ralph. So, anyway, so the county records a lot of documents, and we've been told that we have to basically do that by credit card, so we're getting charged a processing fee. And so I don't think that that's right, that the county should have to pay a credit card fee based on recording documents with the recorder's office. I think that, you should be able to come up with a system to bill us on a monthly basis or somehow to work that out so that we pay you, but we shouldn't have to run it by credit card.
And so I'm going to restate your question to make sure I'm answering the right question.
Right.
So now when the county records, the county has an option to use a credit card. And so the cost for that credit card is actually a fee that's being charged by the bank to process it.
Right.
Not the recorder's office.
I get that. I'm just saying, we're all big one dysfunctional happy family, okay? So, we give you money to run your office, okay? So you should be able to bill us on a weekly, bi-monthly, monthly basis to record those documents. And we shouldn't have to pay by credit card, and the taxpayers of Cole County shouldn't have to pay a fee to process the credit card.
Well, I will rephrase that, Chris. I understand your point, but I'm going to rephrase it. The county chooses to use a credit card. We can also accept a county check.
So every time we bring you something, we have to write a county check?
Well,
we do your payroll every 2 weeks for all your employees.
We can't prepay a check either. It has to be an invoice that we're paying for. So if we don't have something, we'd be prepaying stuff here because we have to have it when we issue that check.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
I think with all this technology, we've made great strides. There's got to be a way that you can generate a bill or a credit account or something so that you could bill us for services rendered. That's all I'm saying. I do it every day. In my business. So you know, people don't pay me on the spot. I don't say, give me your credit card or give me a check or whatever. I said, I'm gonna bill you for 30 days worth of service. I mean, so I would like to see you try to do that. I mean, I realize there's some challenges there, but, you know.
The carrying a balance in the recorders, I've talked to other recorders on this subject, and I mean, it sounds like a nightmare to me. You know, we close the books at the end of the day, every day, and take the money up to the treasurer, you know, the following morning, and the books are, you know, the books at the end of the day are balanced right down to the penny. And right now, our software that we would have to check, we would have to go with to do what you're saying, we would need to get with our software provider and completely rewrite the software. And right now it's not possible, and I don't know what the cost would be to redo that software. But it's the idea of carrying over a balance is what is.
I mean, you're not receiving funds by credit card that day.
Oh, yes. Well,
Oh, no.
Well, overnight, I guess.
It's
No,
like 2
it's-
a.m.
Yeah,
or something like
it's
that.
overnight. It's overnight. And 99%, I'd say 98% of what we get is paid for by check. And also.
So does that check clear every day? There's no way that check clears every day. So so you're talking about cash on hand. I mean, so you're talking about a piece of paper that's a check. I mean, that check doesn't clear the bank every day. So, I mean, I don't know, because that could be a bad check and it takes several days to clear.
Yeah. I think we haven't had a problem with bad checks. So that's few and far between. And I think that the treasurer may be carrying those, you know, watching those deposits, you know, the checks, because you're right, you know, they don't, it doesn't, I don't know, it takes a day or two. Actually, it doesn't take very long at all for that check to hit the bank account sometimes. And let me point out that I've been talking about this situation for a couple of years maybe, you know, about needing to change, needing to, you know, collect the fees. And other county recorders, I've checked with other county recorders, and the issues we're talking about, other county recorders don't have those issues because their county checking system is different than ours. And so what I'm saying is maybe the county could review their process to see if that check can be made available more quickly.
I'm happy to review our process, and I'm happy to write you a check today for $2,000 or whatever that amount is, but you got a debit out of it. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to rework our process, but you've got to be able to work with it too. So, you know, I could give you $2,000 a day, and you just pull the money out.
Yeah, well, most of what we get with the county is $27, $30.
Well, that's fine, but I mean.
Versus $2,000.
Right, but what I'm saying is I give you $2,000 and I use it today and it's $27. Well, you pull $27 out.
I see, so you set up an account with the recorder's office?
Yeah.
That is another option. So that's a.
I don't really think that solves the issue because you're still prepaying. I mean, as long as we can calculate what the recording fee is, we can cut a check every other week.
We
It's
prepay
just-
for, what do we prepay for, Debbie? We prepay for water and some utilities. So, I mean, how's that any different? I mean, if we don't use it, he's carrying the balance. I mean, what?
See, I have a couple hotels that will buy
I don't know.
uniforms from me, and I will bill them once a month. My register balance is every night because, you know, the money I've taken in, you know, it's balanced. And then once a month, I get a check in from these hotels, and then I ring the ticket that day, and it goes into that day's, I'm,
A lot of things that I've noticed also, what the county records in the recorder's office, most of it is easements and right-of-ways, from what I've seen. 90% of that is are easements and right-of-ways. And if those are not timely issues, if it's not a warranty deed, where you want to get that thing recorded right away, but easements and right-of-way, the two parties are in agreement right there. And so if the public works, saves those, decides to record twice a year their easements and right-of-ways, and you checks twice a year, or excuse me, twice a month.
Twice a month.
And then just, and then it records the easements and right-of-ways, twice a month. Then, let's see, what does that do? So then that allows the county to, Public Works, to work with the offices to obtain that check to pay the recording fee. That's the way it's working right now, and Chris, maybe we can continue to work together to find a system that that we're both comfortable with.
I just don't like paying fees. I don't like paying late fees. I don't like paying a charge for, for a credit card, especially in our office. I mean, if I have to pay a fee when I go to Sam's store to use a credit card, I'm fine with that. But that's my money. We're talking about the taxpayers' dollars, not my money.
So the credit card service that we have, it's a service we're providing for people that want to
Absolutely.
Want to
Right.
use it.
Sure. Nope. So I just like to see us try to work something out there, so whatever that may be.
I agree.
I understand.
Okay.
Well, we've been doing it this way, I think, the whole time, so we're gonna change the system. And there's a way to change it, different way to do it, so. You got any ideas how you wanna do it, Debbie, Kristen? Or make everything all come out at the end of the day, right?
I would like to see if that software vendor could do what we were talking about, set up an account, charge us for it. I can't imagine that it would cost that much through that software vendor, but if it doesn't already do it for other entities.
Let me check, and we can visit, I'm happy to visit with the auditor and finance to see if we can get everything on the table and come up with something.
I mean, when I do an invoice, when I collect it is when I actually go back in there and receive payment on it. Otherwise, it just stays open. It never registers except for
And also,
invoice, so,
yeah.
if that was the way to do it, I wouldn't think they'd have to change the program.
I'm not I don't write program, but my understanding is it's a big thing. Let's see. Also, let me check further with other class ones about the end of month thing. More than just conversations. Let me check and see if any class ones are carrying the balance, through the end of the month. Also, something else that might play into this, as far as the balance at the end of the month, and then one bill at the end of the month, sort of thing, is the fees get divided into these many different funds, and I wonder if so it's not just a single bank deposit. It's not just a simple bank deposit, but rather, that fee we collect is going several different directions. And I wonder if that's part of the complication for the accounting part. But let me get with, work with finance and work with the auditor's office to see how we can make this as good as possible for everyone involved. But happy to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Ralph.
Alrighty then, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thanks, Ralph.
Mhm.
Okay, Mark Richardson came down and asked if we could postpone his signing of the prosecuting attorney's MOU for maybe up to 4 to 6 weeks. So,
Back on the agenda in about 6 weeks?
yeah, he's working on
Okay.
So
something.
We're gonna approve that he's gonna be able to fill it, or what do we,
Right now, we're not,
right now, we're not,
no,
correct?
yeah,
So we're gonna postpone approving
Yes.
until they're completed?
yes.
Okay.
Can we just take it off the budget or the agenda until he asks to be
He'll
put
let
back?
it, yeah, he'll let us know.
Okay.
That works?
Yeah,
Just
let's
whenever he's
do,
ready.
yeah.
Okay, you missed one, Sammy.
Oh. It's probably on my
Okay.
wet
Minus
desk.
one.
All right.
Probably on my wet
Going
desk.
down today.
Any other things to come before commission today?
Sorry, I forgot to write in with another signature.
You're all right. Shiny object.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay.
I move we go into closed session pursuant to section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri for legal actions, sub 1.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.